This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important updates to share with you. We're hearing directly from the White House of what President Biden plans to do more. As President Biden's approval rating over the highest it's been in a long time, but still 53% of Americans are not happy with President Biden. What is President Biden going to do about it? Well, we're going to hear directly from the White House Chief of Staff in just a moment of what more President Biden can do. You don't want to miss that video clip. Also, when it comes to stimulus, direct payments of $3,200 being sent out, and I'll let you know the exact date. Also, one-time direct payment of $1,400 checks being sent out. And there's some good economic news. One economist saying that there is not going to be a recession. And I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a more than a mundane Monday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. And we're still on our trip. Bella having a great time for her birthday yesterday. She had a blast. I'm going to try to give you some video clips. It's just the internet here is really bad and it's not uploading fast enough from my phone to my account to put it in these videos. But as I get it, I will share that with you. But anyways, hopefully you're having a great day. Let's get into it. Janet Yellen was skeptical of President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, and Jill Biden expressed reservations, while Kamala Harris was a huge backer of the debt cancellation. So big news came out with that student loan forgiveness. May sound good for the moment, especially for people who have student loans and they want it forgiven or canceled, but it may not actually happen. We're still waiting to hear what's going to happen, if it's going to go to courts and stuff. But Janet Yellen, who is the Treasury Secretary, was skeptical of the whole plan, including President Biden's wife, Jill Biden, an educator who has pushed for tuition-free community college, also had reservations. So it did get some criticism from President Biden's closest allies. And I don't think a lot of you are in support of the student loan forgiveness as well. And it may not happen. The announcement was there. A bunch of people are happy about it. But it may cause a lot of disappointment for those people because it may not happen at all. When it comes to President Biden, Biden's approval improves, but 53% still think he's doing a bad job. So according to the latest poll, Thursday, 44% of U.S. adults approve of President Biden's work, and 53% do not have a favorable opinion of him. So President Biden made some big wins, and his rating is the highest it's been in a while, but still it is not looking good. So if we compare August, this time in the president's term, midterm election year, and August and all that, we could see that G.H.W. Bush in 1990, so George H.W. Bush, 75, and then I guess the second highest was G.W. Bush in 2002, which was 67, and then Clinton 65 in 98, and then Reagan in 86 was 61, and actually Trump was 41 and Obama was 42, and Biden is tied with Obama in Obama's first term in 2010. So it's actually not as bad as other presidents. It looks like, yeah, could have been worse. But what is being done about it? What can President Biden do to turn everything around? Because it's not just about the approval rating. It's how Americans are living right now and how most of Americans are struggling. What can be done about it? Take a look at the White House Chief of Staff, Ron Klain, and what he thinks is going on.
President Trump said that he declassified all these documents. Could he have just declassified them all?
Well, I just want to know I've declassified everything in the world. I'm president. I can do it all. Come on. Declassified everything. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know the detail. I don't even want to know. I'll let the Justice Department take care of it.
That was President Joe Biden a little while ago, essentially mocking one of Donald Trump's many excuses for why he had 184 classified documents unsecured at his Mar-a-Lago golf club after he left the White House. It's a rare comment from the president on an issue that the president has made a point of steering clear from. His whole team has, and letting the Justice Department do its work. These remarks, though, follow a fiery rally and speech last night where President Biden sought to energize all Democrats, drawing a very sharp contrast between his party and his leadership and the MAGA Republicans, who he says are moving farther and farther away from democratic, small d democratic principles. Let's get right to White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain. I asked your colleague Kate Bedingfield about this yesterday, but when you see the way democracy is on the mind of voters as a top issue, and I went back this week and read the president's inaugural address, and it's all about this moment of peril for our democracy. Has the president has he grown more concerned about those threats to our democracy in his months in office?
Look, Nicole, as you said, it was in the inaugural address. It was actually in one of the earliest speeches that he made in this campaign, where he talked about fighting for the soul of America, reclaiming our soul as a country, what we stand for, what we believe in. It guides him every single day in the Oval Office. And it is of concern as we look at the upcoming election. We look at the number of people who've been nominated for offices in this country, including for the U.S. Senate, Congress, other offices, who are saying basically they'd put their views ahead of the views of the American people on who won an election. You have people running for election management jobs, like Secretary of State in many states, who are saying basically they're not going to follow the will of the voters. So democracy is definitely on the ballot, and he's going to fight for democracy. And again, he's reaching out to people of goodwill across the political spectrum to join him in that effort. Ron,
I wonder if you can just sort of share or reveal your inner dialogue. Gas prices are down. The jobs market's fantastic. Inflation is real and it sucks. But how do you feel about the kind of press coverage you guys get?
Well, Nicole, I will say, on good days and bad days, we try to get up and do our jobs here. And the president's had an agenda since he came to office. And there have been times when people have doubted that. They've doubted his ability to deliver. But as the president said a few weeks ago, we've entered a season of substance here where we've been able to really deliver on some important things and win historic victories. I've been in Washington a long time. For 30 years, people have talked about giving Medicare the power to negotiate prescription drugs. The big drug companies fought it. We beat them. We delivered. We've been trying to do gun control since I was on Joe Biden's Senate staff 30 years ago. And this summer, we stood up to the NRA. We delivered gun control. We've been trying to make the tax system fairer for decades. Big corporations pay no taxes at all. Many of them do, at least. And we finally got the Congress to come and with Democratic votes, no Republicans helping us, passed a minimum corporate tax. So, we have been working hard to deliver these results. We're starting to see the benefits of that. As you said, the unemployment's at a 50-year low. We had a new report out today that shows that inflation is moderating. In fact, prices went down last month. When you add up what it went up, went down on the net, they went down last month. Gas prices down 73 days in a row, every single day this summer. So we're making a lot of progress on the agenda. We have a lot more work to do, but I think there's a lot for the president to be quite proud of.
What are your thoughts on what White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain said? Very optimistic there, said things will get a lot better. Do you believe him? Let me know your thoughts. So Nobel Prize-winning economist says he doesn't see anything that resembles a recession in the U.S. So there's some good economic news, but we're hearing the complete opposites from different economists as well. So Nobel Prize-winning Richard Thaler said U.S. economy was showing more signs of strength than weakness, and Thaler is known for his work on behavioral economics. So optimistic here, doesn't really mean much because we're hearing other economists saying that we are going to have the worst recession of our lifetime. So it really depends on who we're hearing from. But here is another economist given, I think, a little better of a synopsis of the economy, how it's not going to be completely good and it's going to take a long time to get better. Take a look at this.
Fed officials met in Jackson Hole, Wyoming to discuss the state of the economy. Fed Chief Jerome Powell predicted more pain for households and businesses until inflation is brought down. What does that all mean for the economy? Joining me now, JP Morgan Asset Management Chief Global Strategist David Kelly. David, we are thrilled to have you in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here.
So, got to talk about what happened Friday. In a span of about 10 minutes, the market tanked. So can you tell us, what are investors making of the Fed's more hawkish stance? And, what's the path forward for the Fed?
Well, of course, I think that move is an overreaction. The Fed, frankly, Jerome Powell's speech was pretty much what we expected it to be. He wants to sound very, very tough on inflation. He wants to say he really, 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 really means it. He's going to bring inflation down. And that's really what all that speech was about. I don't really think it changed the odds very much in terms of what they're going to do in September. But broadly speaking, they're saying they want to fight inflation, and that's really what the market reacted to.
So what do you think will happen in September in terms of the rate hike? Are we talking 50, 75 basis points?
It's a very close call. I think it sounds like we might get 75 basis points. But what we could have is 75 basis points, but then Jay Powell saying, oh, by the way, that probably is it. The next move could be lower. And so I think we may end up with 25 basis points more tightening when all is said and done than we would have had otherwise. I think the data between now and then will support, particularly I think we'll see lower inflation. I think it will support the money going 50. But as I say, they want to sound tough, and going 75 in September obviously would sound tough.
So you were talking about perhaps seeing lower inflation. Is there evidence of that happening now?
Oh, yes. I mean, we've seen gasoline prices fall almost every single day since the middle of June. We've also seen airline fares move. We can see we've got very good data on that. We've seen used car prices fall. They soared to huge levels. And we're also seeing a lot of the bottlenecks in the global economy are clearing. There are fewer people complaining of slow deliveries. Things are actually arriving that have been stuck on ships. So all of this suggests that inflation is in fact coming down now.
So when we're talking about inflation, right, economics tends to deal in the aggregate. Mm-hmm. And when do you think households will actually be seeing the impacts of lower inflation? Well,
it depends, of course, what people are focused on. The most important number that people focus on in inflation is actually gasoline prices, because you can't drive 2 city blocks in America without figuring out what the price of a gallon of gas is. Mm-hmm. And so seeing that come down has actually helped consumer confidence. People realize that. But I think people are going to be upset by higher electricity prices, higher natural gas prices as we go into the winter. So that's still going to be there. But overall, other things that were just going up a lot are going to go up less, and there will be more availability of goods. And I think that'll help people feel a little bit better.
And how do you think the Fed is going to be able to avoid a recession? If we do have one, how bad do you think it will be?
I think if we had a recession, it would be pretty mild. And that's because none of the cyclical sectors of the economy are particularly elevated right now. We don't have a housing boom or an auto boom or an inventory boom. You know, they're all pretty low at pretty low levels. And it's very hard to injure yourself badly jumping out of a basement window. Right. And that's kind of where we are. But, you know, it's a really close call in recession. You know, it's kind of like you're wandering around the edge of a pool and there's a kid's party going on and the chance of somebody bumping you in. I mean, it's possible to avoid a recession if nothing goes wrong, but one bad crisis right now would put us in recession because the economy is very vulnerable to recession right now.
What are your thoughts there? Moving on to stimulus. So exact date, huge $3,200 direct payment will be sent out, revealed. So the date of when this is going on. This is going on in Alaska. Massive $3,200 direct payment sent out to eligible Alaska residents next month. So looks like in early October, or paper checks in early October, and will actually start hitting bank accounts and direct deposits on September 20th. So, yeah, there's a big payout here for Alaska. And then in other news here, Stimulus Update 2022, one-time direct payment of $1,400 checks to be sent out. So this is going on in Johnson County, Iowa. And yeah, $1,400 checks there. Yeah, looks like that's going on in Iowa. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Oh, hi guys, I didn't see you there. Just to let you know, you guys are great to me. You guys are special to me. I need you here beside me. And you are so nice. Do you know why? Cause you're so nice right now.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your time and support. And yeah, videos this week may be a little sporadic. I'm gonna try to get you a video a day, but the internet here isn't the best. And upload times could sometimes take like 2 to 3 hours compared to at home where it takes like 2 minutes. So I'm going to try my best to give it to you, maybe different times and stuff. But thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for all the birthday wishes for Bella, by the way. She was really happy about that. And hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my videos, my other channels, you can click right up here. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.